Welcome to the Cash Flow Couple Podcast, where we go behind the scenes in our short-term rental business and reveal tips, tricks, secrets, successes, and failures. Whether you have 0 units or 100 units, this podcast is for you. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Wendy Williams, along with my husband, John Williams. Together, we operate Queen City Suites, a short-term rental business here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome back to the podcast. I hope everyone has gotten their toilet paper.
That's super funny. I didn't know you were going to say that, but yeah. So I mentioned to Wendy today, I was like, so we're down to like 3 rolls of toilet paper?
Oh no, I wish I had known this last week.
Yes. And now you can't go to the store and buy toilet paper without everybody looking at you like, are you hoarding that?
Well, there's no toilet paper at all. I just went to Walmart.
Yeah, if you could avoid it. If you could not avoid it. If you could even buy it.
You can't. It doesn't exist anymore in a 100-mile radius.
So this is one advantage of running short-term rentals.
That's true.
We actually do have a stockpile of toilet paper. It's just not at our house, but we have it. So we can go raid the business stockpiles.
We can go raid the short-term rental stockpile.
Because I think it was last week that it just came up on inventory to order
That's exactly
paper
right.
towels and toilet paper, right?
Yep.
And we ordered it and it came. So it's there.
Yes.
It's just not in our house. So we've only got 3 rolls.
We could just go take like 1 roll from each place and have plenty.
And I haven't asked you this, but we do have a current guest in the basement. Are they sharing our toilet paper supply, or is there a separate one for the basement? I haven't asked you this. I'm curious to know because Wendy runs this operation.
They are sharing our toilet paper supply.
So my question is there more down there? Or,
yes.
Okay, so there is more than just 3.
Yes.
Technically. Okay.
Yes.
This is what I need to know. Because I Googled it today and apparently there's like a rag and a stick method.
A rag and a stick.
Hey man, I'm looking for alternatives.
Oh God.
Just in case.
Well, there's always paper towels.
Yeah, but you can't flush those.
No, don't flush those.
You know, there's certain things you don't want to flush.
Rags and a stick. That's hilarious.
No, it's a rag and a stick, and apparently you wash the rag. And I don't want to get into the specifics, but
okay, please don't.
If this goes down, just know that I've downloaded the knowledge.
Oh my goodness. This is getting way off track.
Well, I didn't know you were going to start like that. I thought it was going to be like the regular, like, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Well, we're in we're apparently in a crisis situation.
Yeah, but that kind of segues into what we were going to talk about is like, we get creative, right? Yeah,
it's true. You got to get creative.
So
yes.
how many people, joined in on the, hey, let's go short-term rental stuff, and now they're like, well, that sucks. That's not working out so well.
It's not working out.
Right?
Well,
but it's not all doom and gloom over here. I mean, although it kind of sucks at the moment.
Yeah. We lost some hefty bookings.
Yeah, so we had like four cancellations yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was
which is a lot
yesterday.
Considering we have 7 units.
Yeah.
So 4 is a lot. So if we had 14, maybe we would have 8. Or if we had more, it's all relative, right?
That's true.
But for us, it was a lot of revenue that we lost.
Yeah.
In our business,
but we just got to get creative.
We do have to go creative, and we've started solving that problem.
Yes, we actually started before the world blew up.
That's true. So part of what we did is, we talked about this earlier, is we've been laying seeds for a while.
Yep.
And that's something that you mentioned to me before we went live is, hey, we've always said we're not an Airbnb business.
And that's really, really important right now.
But there are a lot of people that do identify that way, even though we've preached that forever. There's tons of people that, nobody listens. I mean, I shouldn't say that. not everybody listens to our podcast. Not everybody, and we're not the only people that say that either, right? So not everybody has gotten that message. There are tons of people that signed up on Airbnb and that's how they identify and that's what they are. And now
that's their only platform.
Yes. And here this week, Airbnb, regardless of what your cancellation policy was, is giving everybody full refunds and even like going as far as to message them saying, hey, if you want to cancel, it's okay. You can.
Oh, and here, by the way, here's a script to use.
Yeah, here's the button, and hit this button, and it will send your host a message. And we know that because we've gotten 4 or 5 of them just in the past 2 days that all say the same thing.
Isn't that crazy? That is insane. It's insane.
It is. And I don't want to get into that whole controversy because that's like a different road to go down because we could spend a lot of time like gritting our teeth and saying, well, they did us wrong, or maybe they should have done something else. But, it all comes back to, hey, we're not an Airbnb business and we're the CEOs of our business. And if it's going to survive, then we're the ones that have to figure it out.
That's right.
What are we going to do?
We need to respond, not react.
Exactly.
So...
And that's what we've been doing. So you've been doing a lot of this here lately. So perhaps maybe we can relate that and it'll give some people some ideas of other ways that you can go about this right now.
We've already been exploring the extended stay model.
Yeah. So we were doing that already because a lot of our properties are
larger,
like 2 and 3 bedroom places, and their houses.
So
that lends itself to extended stay over, a business traveler or a traveling nurse or something like that.
Right. Because they tend to travel by themselves or just one other person. And they don't typically need as much space as a 2-3 bedroom houses like we have. So, and we serve mostly families with children. So
yeah, that's been our avatar all along.
Mm-hmm, that's because that's who we are. And we've talked about that before too, is who is your target customer and coming up with that avatar and how to do that. We've talked about that before. So now we can still serve that type of customer. It's just the reason that they are coming here is different.
Yeah. And for us, this time of year in Charlotte, it's spring, or it's becoming spring. It's March. So it's into March and April. Our traditional customers have tended to be people coming for graduations, people coming for those sort of things that are related to events, spring break, and those events are now being canceled.
Yes.
In fact, even our own children they canceled school. So the governor of North Carolina said, hey, no school for the next 2 weeks.
Awesome.
At least.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, I know you are. I know, it's so funny.
Oh my God.
And that's when you say, I'm really not excited about that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
At least it's not in California and they got canceled for like 2 months.
Yeah. So we do have people that we know in California that are like, hey, our school's out for like a month, and it has been.
Lord.
So at least it's not that yet. But yeah, but that's affecting our potential customers as well. So people that were coming for a graduation, or we had another person that was coming for a track meet, and they were like the grandparents of the people that were in the track meet. So, their original message was, hey, we're coming to see our grandson or granddaughter in their track meet. And now that's been canceled and they're not coming. So, and in fact, they actually came from a different platform. So like Airbnb is like anybody can cancel for any reason, but HomeAway hasn't taken that track yet. And these people were actually HomeAway, but we refunded them too.
It's the right thing to do.
We felt, so, we felt it was the right thing to do to just refund them and do that as a brand and as a business. And then let them know, hey, if you want to come back to the area, please book with us.
Right.
And that's been a really good response from the guests themselves saying, hey, we really appreciate it. We'll definitely rebook back with you when we come.
Yes. Yeah. And I believe that they will.
And they will. When they come back, they'll come back stronger than ever, which is
that's exactly right.
Great. And I think that's a good business decision. But there's also people that are depending on us as business owners.
The cleaners.
Our runners, people that their livelihood depends on us making revenue as well.
Sure.
And so you kind of have to balance that a little bit, and you're not going to win either way. Like if we default the guests and got the revenue, then we could have paid our cleaners and runners and that kind of thing. But that would have been at their expense. If we give them all their money back, then now our cleaners and runners aren't going to get the revenue they were expecting. So it's a really kind of tough position to be in if you think about it on both ends of it. And we don't get that revenue either, which we were expecting. And especially here in our area, January is like our slow month. We talked about that before. And here it is March, and now there's this, coronavirus thing, which is taking away revenue that we were expecting to start making up for January and February that we now don't have.
But we will have, because
we will eventually.
We are taking steps to get these places filled.
Right. And that's what we should talk about, because that's what will help people the most.
That's why
what are we doing to fill that gap? Because the traditional bookings that we got are no longer.
Right. So let's just consider the platform of Airbnb just no longer exists.
Yeah. And that's what we've been thinking about it.
Right.
Hey, let's pretend like that doesn't exist
and see
what we can do.
We've already been trying to get away from those platforms anyway as a business.
Yeah, that's always the plan, but now it's just kind of forced a little bit.
Yes.
Because it's very easy to sit back, and it's very comfortable to get those regular reservations, is it not? To where you don't have to, you're not really as motivated to go out and replace it because it's still coming.
Right.
It's kind of like that thing where if you have a job and you have this side gig that you're trying to build, well, I mean, the side gig, you're not as motivated while you're still getting that paycheck, because it's a very comfortable safety net.
Yeah.
And it's the people that lose their job that either sink or swim. And some of those people become wildly successful. In fact, I can't think of somebody in my network that's wildly successful that did not have some kind of life event that triggered that. Like they hit rock bottom financially somehow, like they lost a job, or they ran out of all their savings, or like literally every single one of them has some kind of story like that. So if you can survive that and make that an opportunity instead of woe is me, then you really have an opportunity to grow. And I think there's opportunity in what's happening right now, because there are going to be a lot of people that either get out of it altogether, that have jobs. Like this was their side gig.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to be like, yeah, that sucks. I'm doing something else. Right. Or that don't have the stomach for it and they're going to quit. Or that we're thinking about getting into it and now they're like, maybe not. Right. And so it's those of us who are going to figure out different ways that are going to persevere, and we're going to be the ones that profit from this environment, because it won't last forever.
No, we're just going to have to think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that we've been doing? Because we've been working on this for, well, days now, because we got to fill those people that we got to fill those dates.
Well, you have to go back to the mindset of you are solving problems for people.
Yes, for sure.
And I think that's the most important thing to remember. We are here to solve a problem. And so now you look around and you see all these problems that people have. For example, like I was saying before, there are people who are stranded here who either can't go home, maybe they're from Italy. Maybe
they don't want to go home, right?
And they don't want to go home because there's nothing to go home to. So, and there's people staying in a hotel right now, and they don't want to be around a bunch of people in a hotel. I mean, they would much rather stay at a house or an apartment.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Like, say you came from, because Italy right now is having a severe crisis with this whole coronavirus thing. So if I were a person from Italy who just happened to be visiting the U.S. during this time, and you booked a nice hotel because you were planning on being here for a few days or whatever, and say it's $250 a night or whatever, like something like that. But now you're facing a situation where I don't really want to go back to Italy because I don't want to risk, contracting this as well. But I also wasn't planning on spending $250 a night for an extended period. So now that person is looking for an alternative. And that's where, as a business that has places short term that are much more affordable than that and set up for not 3 days, but a month or weeks or whatever, we are a real alternative to that person. And we now can solve that person's problem.
Exactly.
And save them a ton of money, while at the same time making enough money that it solves our problem too. And that becomes a win-win. That's the type of thing we're always looking for. I don't care in what kind of real estate investing you're doing or what kind of business you're in. The amount of money that you are able to make is directly related to the value that you bring to the marketplace. And for that person, that is a super valuable thing. And for us, it's also super valuable because they're desperate. We're also in a situation where it sucks for us.
Well,
we can come together, pair those two things
service
together and make it happen.
Yeah, we're solving problems. And that's what you do as an entrepreneur.
You really do.
You solve people's problems.
That person is not on the Airbnb platform necessarily.
That's right. Yes. So
how do you get in front of them? That's where you become really creative. And you were talking about this earlier today, how you woke up in the middle of the night and you were drawn to the airport.
I was.
You were like, I need to go to the airport.
Somebody at the airport needs our service. I can feel it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get in front of those people.
We were talking about today, like we brainstormed a lot of ideas. Like maybe we go to the airport and
talk to the employees,
talk to the people. Yeah, you had the idea of the people in lost baggage, right? Because they talk to a lot of people that are in crisis. So maybe talk to them and say, hey, we've got places. Like if you hear somebody that is stuck here or whatever, let them know that we have places to stay. Another idea we had was to go there and just start talking to people. One of the things I thought about is, Wendy speaks French. There might be some French speakers that are at the airport because Charlotte is a major airline or American Airlines hub. So a lot of people travel through Charlotte, even if they're not staying there. If that's not their final destination, a lot of people come through there, and there perhaps are French language speaking people that are in a panic because they're stuck in a foreign country, don't speak the language, and need help. And you could go there and just, because you speak the language, and have a solution for their housing. Right? It only takes one.
That's right.
It's not like we have 70,000 units to fill. We have 7.
Right.
So maybe there's one person there that really needs our help. And it would be a disservice to the community for us to sit home and say, woe is me, my Airbnb guest canceled.
Right.
And then not go out and find these people that need help. Duke University here in North Carolina has closed their dorms.
Right.
That's
right. And what about all those international students?
Right. And I don't know where you're located if you're listening to this, but there are universities that are closing dorms. That's a real thing. And those students need a place to go. Some of them can just go home to mom and dad, but some of them can't.
Right.
And they need places to stay. That is a way that you can be a solution to the marketplace.
Yep.
That doesn't have anything to do with Airbnb or HomeAway or any other platform you ever thought about. It's just people that have a problem, and you finding a way to get in front of those people and saying, hey, here's a solution for you. And we have a need too, because, our Airbnb guests canceled. So how can we help you that helps us? And it's a win-win. And now we both survive and everybody's happy. That's the type of things you need to be thinking about. I mean, those are specific examples that I know about. For example, just with the coronavirus, there's a lot of medical professionals traveling right now, because there are needs in certain areas, and they're being staffed to come to those areas. So if you're in an area like that, then perhaps cater to those people. Find a way to get in front of them and say, hey, here's a place to stay.
Oh, furnished finders.
Furnished finders is one. There's the Gypsy Nurse thing on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Those are two very well-known places that traveling nurses go to.
Yep.
But even if it's not there, I mean, go to your local hospital, like physically go down there and say, hey, if you have people coming to the area, we have places for them to stay, because the motels might be jam-packed right now.
Right.
Or medical professionals who want to be in isolation from disease may not want to go to a 130-room hotel with everybody else and their kids that are sneezing on the handrails and everything else, right? Maybe they want to be in a more isolated environment. And it's not just health professionals, other people too. So you have that unique ability to offer them that. So start thinking outside the box, thinking about where opportunity is, not where opportunity has left you. Mm-hmm. Because right now, Airbnb platform, opportunity has left us to a certain degree.
Agreed.
I'm sure it will come back. It will, because economy's going cycles. The flu's not going to be around forever. This coronavirus thing isn't going to be around forever. So let's go to these alternate places and focus on solving problems, because that's what entrepreneurs do.
Yep. And today we actually reached out to a guest who is a repeat guest of ours.
Yeah, do that as well.
And asked him if he was interested in extending his reservation, and he just happened to be. He was interested in staying just a little bit longer, but we asked that question of the people who are staying with us right now.
Yeah, and he's actually an Airbnb channel person. He books through Airbnb predominantly, or has in the past, but we just reached out to him and said, hey, if you want to extend, we'd be happy to have you. And by the way, if we take you direct,
we can save you
quite a bit of money. In his case, it was like $1,800.
Yep. It was $1,800 that we just saved him.
Talk about a win-win. So we saved him $1,800. Yep. And we make the exact same amount that we would have made through the platform
by taking him direct booking through our own website instead of him going through Airbnb and paying all those fees.
Right. So for him, he's like, hell yeah, I love saving that amount of money. And for us, we're like, hell yeah, we like making the same amount of money. Right?
Right.
Especially in this environment.
But we asked. That's the whole point. The whole point is we reached out to him and asked, are you interested in extending your reservation? Right? Now you go down to the hospital, you ask questions.
Yeah. Where can I help? How can I help?
How can I help? I have this. Do you know anybody that I can help? Go find somebody to help, because you will find someone. If that's your mindset, you will find someone.
Yeah. And that was kind of our mindset of also letting people cancel.
Yes. It's the right thing to do.
Because I don't feel good about taking somebody's money that I'm not helping.
Right.
And yes, does it suck? Yes, it does suck. Can we, quote, afford it? Nope. Sure can't.
Nope.
We're not independently rich. I wish we were. I wish we had millions of dollars and we could just say it doesn't matter, but it does. You know, we would be lying to you if we said that it doesn't hurt. It does hurt. It really does. And we wouldn't be going out and scrambling to find other people to help if we had bazillions of dollars and it didn't. And that's BS. That's guru BS when people tell you that. That's not the way the world works. No. And I don't like hearing people say, "Oh, you just go on Airbnb and make $1 bazillion." Well, those people are wrong today, aren't they? Right? So this is the real deal.
Karma is a bitch.
It doesn't work that way. And so I'm not saying that we have all the answers, but I think we have the right attitude and mindset about it of, hey, let's do our fellow humans right. And then go do what we should be doing as being entrepreneurs and solving problems and finding problems to solve and serving other people. And as long as we do that, we will survive.
Yep, that's exactly right. So,
and it's already starting to bear fruit.
I think so. Yes, because
we've survived up to this point already.
That's true. We survived January.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
I don't know how we survived January. I really don't.
Because, you know, when we're in it and we're in the trenches, we're like, oh my God, this is horrible. But somehow we pull it out every single month.
Yep, we sure do.
Somehow we pull it out every single month.
We sure do.
And it's because we go do those things and we don't just sit back and put our heads in the sand and say, oh my God, the world's falling. We say, look, let's go figure it out. Because there are people depending on us.
Yes, there are people depending on us.
There are people depending on us.
Not just our children.
And then there are people out there that need our help.
Yes, that's exactly right.
It's always the case. I don't care what industry you're in. And ours is no different. So, I mean, that's kind of our attitude about it right now. And we'll keep pushing forward.
Well, yeah, we have to. Failure is not an option.
Failure is not an option.
So,
but it never should be. No. You know.
But I think if you go out there and at least make the effort to establish those relationships and to make the effort of offering your services to everyone. I mean, you know, put a post on Facebook or something and say, hey, I've got this apartment for rent. It's fully furnished. Do you or someone you know need a nice place to stay for a little while? Go do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Why not? You never know. Something might actually happen.
I mean, there's lots of places to go.
Lots of places.
You got to take the emotion out of it.
Yes.
As much as possible.
Go find somebody to help.
And go take action and take steps and seek out people that need help.
Well, and you got to think about who else within your target market. Why else would they be coming here? Yes, we serve families with children, like I said before, but they're coming here for a different reason now. Mm-hmm. But they're still coming, and you may not be able to find them through the regular platforms. They're going to be somewhere else now.
Yeah.
So you just got to go figure out where that is.
And that's okay, because if you learn how to do that, then you don't even need the platforms, do you?
What?
Like if you figure that out and get really good at that, then things like that you thought prior were like Airbnb is where it's at. Now you're just kind of like, yeah, I'll take that if I don't get anything else.
Exactly. And that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
Love it. Fabulous.
So hopefully that was helpful. That's kind of the conversation we've been having here lately.
And we will continue to have more of this conversation as well in our community. If you would like to hop over to thecashflowcouple.com, and that is where we talk the talk and walk the walk. So until next time, stay safe.
Thanks for listening to another exciting episode of the Cash Flow Couple. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, virtually anywhere you might find a podcast, whatever podcast player you're listening on now. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. It helps other people find us. It helps us move up in the rankings. If you did not know, we also have a YouTube channel. It's The Cash Flow Couple. All of our episodes go there. But as well, we also put other video content that is not part of the podcast. You can find us on Facebook at The Cash Flow Couple. We go live there quite a bit. We share tips, tricks, things that are behind the scenes in our business that you may not see on the podcast, but it's definitely more of a real-time, day-to-day type experience. So definitely follow us on Facebook. If you want to ask us questions, or if you have concerns or something you want to hear on the podcast, hit us up by email, info@thecashflowcouple.com. We love to hear from our audience. We really care about you guys. We want to see you succeed, and we want to hear what you have to say. So hit us up, info@thecashflowcouple.com. So until next time, happy hosting, happy investing, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Cash Flow Couple.